offline. I'm going out with my kick, band or some shit. Right. What the fuck is going on? Is this? Why is my shit not connected? Oh my god. Hmm. boys, finally. Mic check, mic check. Hmm? Mic check, mic check. Okay, might have to go in here. Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Okay, that's good. But at the same time, let's go here. Yeah, my mic's a little bit fucking loud, you know. And the desktop audio is fine, right? He's down. Blah blah blah. Ready. See, you just settings from the other fucking computer. Dancing. Oh my god, that's all.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone. Squads active in the field. Resurgence. Survive and your team can redeploy.
Hell, that's cool.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Got time for another bounty. Get it. Destroy. have reinforcements inbound. Enemy SAM turret active. Your squad mates back on station. Good work. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
114 now, no fucking way.
Together on high. I'll say it.
Bro, this is insane. Frames are crazy now.
Redeployed. Well done. To the safe zone. Hostile airstrike incoming.
Go in here.
Marks remain in operation from that squad.
Care package will stand by.
Get ready. You're redeploying.
We definitely did something.
Friendly loadout drops on the way.
ATR ready to launch.
The squad mate is redeployed. Well done.
Time to play 5 seconds. Out.
You have reinforcements inbound.
Fire solution was bad. Miss.
Dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Target down. Marking the rest of them. Hostile.
Did he really? Oh, he zipped off. Motherfucker.
We've got a loadout drop in. Go get your revenge. Same to you, soldier. Stay sharp. Your squad mates redeployed. Well done. All squad mates are in the safe zone. Gas is closing in. You have reinforcements inbound. We've located the rest of them. Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting. 25 are left. Stay sharp out there.
Fuck. Get a better angle on me. Look at that.
The whole team.
Get back to the station. Go get after it.
Ya, pero ¿qué pasa? Se me cayó la maldita arma, loco.
Use your tactics. That was close. Got an extra valuable opportunity here. Don't miss your shot.
Necesito ayuda por detrás.
Yo, he's rezzing. Kill him, he's rezzing. One more.
Uno protegido en el piso.
Hostiles have established a SAM turret. You have reinforcements inbound. Supply boxes marked. Secure those locations. Resurgence is about to end. Make it count.
Moving here.
Started crawling already.
Marking out. Lethal's here.
Oh, I got sniped.
Fire.
Enemy UAV. Squad's in the safe zone.
And sniped again. Fuck.
Mates back on station. Good work.
No que falta nada. 10 segundos.
One shot. Fuck!
Fire sales over. Just in pricing. We're returning you to the front. Earn this.
Los que están en contra no nada que
Bro, what?
Nada.
Resurgence is no longer active. This is
Same
your
fucking sniper keeps hitting me from God knows where.
Staying here.
contract was more than usual, so get it done, soldier.
Bitch.
Contract failed. Stand down.
I'm gonna kill him fucking so bad. Almost started. Get one.
Gas is inbound.
Oh, right next to us.
Moving here.
Shit. Buy me if you can. Yo, guys at the buy. Watch out.
Enemy soldier incoming. Let's move into the safe zone.
Shoddy. No way I was getting out of there.
Be advised, an enemy squad is tracking your location.
No hizo nada, pero que.
No, papi, tú estás minado.
We've got gas moving in. The enemy is no longer tracking you. You lost them.
Contact! Scrambler!
Lo tengo. Ni con el dinero de estos tipos me alcanza. Ahora sí. Sí, pero ese es ahora, pa.
Amazing. No problem.
Mira, aquí está, papi, aquí está.
Power Ranger.
Sin placa.
Only 10 left. 5 squads still operational in the
You got a
area.
gas thing. You got a gas thing, bro. Press X.
Your squad's in the top
You
5.
got a gas zone, bro.
3 squads left in the war zone. Stay alert.
¡Wow!
One on 4.
La garage.
Good try, bro.
Justo.
It doesn't run. I don't know why. It's like it's on, it's playing, but is it like the wrong fucking thing? I think maybe the keys, string keys old.
The real thing is coming soon. Prep time's over. Now you deploy to the war zone. Resurgence. Stay alive to keep the squad in the fight. Hostile UAV in the area.
Bootcat here. Moving here.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy UAV is online.
Marking enemy. Enemy movement. Moving here.
Target down. Marking the rest of them. Base is redeploying. Well done.
Marking enemy.
Well,
Moving
that's
here.
Enemy
headshot.
sentry is active. Ten squads active in the field. Mark remaining
Enemy.
operators
Taking
from that
effective
squad.
fire.
Hunt them down. Made it to the safe zone. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV is online. Squad mate. Good work.
Hard shots. Fuck.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Marking enemy.
Use the track map to hunt down the rest of them.
He's so dead. He's dead. Fucking trap bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck. Fuck. Good kill.
Another chance. Weapons free. All squad mates are in the safe zone. Enemy sentry in the AO. Your squad mate is redeploying. Well done.
Effective fire!
Fuck. Good kill. Good kill. Holy shit. Guys, so
Stand by for
fucking.
redeployment.
Fucker.
Fire sale is active. Buy station prices are adjusted. Fire engine. You're redeploying. Online. You have reinforcements inbound. Get ready. Insurgents we know is about to close.
Using lethal.
Get ready. You're redeploying.
Crazy, I get 10 generations.
Squad's in the safe zone. You're losing ground. Move it. Enemy UAV overhead.
You heard that too.
Fire sale
I-
done. Prices
I
are
heard
active.
I heard that.
Fuck, man. What's going on? At least my frames are 135. You know, this is pretty sick. You know, 80 frames.
Don't get your revenge. Insurgents have been deactivated. This is the end game. Solid work so far.
So for now, what I want to test is why is my Twitch not fucking working? Иди сюда. Да, вы. Hello. Иди сюда. Где жопа грязная, а? Где жопа грязная? Где жопа грязная? Жопа чистая, жопа чистая. Жопа грязная. Ну ты какая грязная, не пизди. Блядь. Fucking cold today. Holy fuck. Fucking cold. Makes this more than fucking fun. My fucking fun. This is fun. Please, we're gonna do this. Full story. Log in. Fuck. I am live. But it doesn't want to send shit. There's that stupid fucking thing. How do you get on your phone? How do you go? It's right here. So, getting confused. Phones. I love two phones. This one. Preview. Hey, what's up, guys? Spams are like this.
Setting that I find really compelling.
That's actually on one of my, I was researching tRNA recently. So do you think that there is a theory on how it could have formed and became this like translator system between two different codes
Yeah.
that weren't
So
really existing yet?
I think that that's absolutely the key that we need, but I don't think there's a theory of that now. But I do think that I'll send you Sutherland's paper about it because that's what I was reading. That was probably the most cutting edge thing that I've read on it was coming out of his lab, and that was sort of like not a complete theory, but it was like the first clues that are like suggesting about the formation of tRNA. Basically, it was really interesting.
I read about something where like the stereochemistry of the RNA could have been attracted to the amino acids and to the proteins, and that yeah, that makes sense. But you would have to eventually start having these form in the same exact conditions, right? Just like like the cell does, they'll form the RNA and they'll form the amino acids, and then they come together, right? But if they were they're forming in the same conditions, I feel like that would pose some issues on the cell. And I
It's
think this is why Sutherland didn't do them like in the same pot. There are a couple
so
different issues, like with the free phosphates being there, or
for
the
the
amount of the amount of magnesium that would have needed to be there for the tRNA versus like how much could have been around the RNA. And then also like the Maillard reactions from the amino acids and the sugars like ribose that can basically um
We're
react and
listening to some crazy
deplete the
shit.
available ribose for RNA synthesis. So while he does have an explanation of stereochemistry, I think that wouldn't explain like how they both simultaneously form side by side, and then it wouldn't also explain like how the code came about and the translating system between these two codes that somehow arbitrarily came about just by accident.
so okay. So the sorry, oh man. I had something that I was trying to say that entire time, and then right when you stopped talking, it left my mind. So can you repeat the very first point that you made? That's what I wanted to respond to.
Yeah, so the stereochemistry between the RNA and the amino acids, like basically we've seen them coexist, but have we formed them
Oh,
from inorganic
right,
compounds
right.
in the
The
same
same pot. That's what I. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. The whole time I was like, you're not. You don't have to form these in the same pot. That's what I was trying to make the point of. Is that what we're specifically talking about with amyloids or with hydrothermal vents, both of those systems are prone to compartmentalization. So you can have hydrophilic and hydrophobic pockets forming readily,
in
just
the
in the
hydrothermal vent rock. Is that what you're
yes.
saying?
In the
Okay,
rocks of
so
hydrothermal vents, there's all of these sort of like the surface area is full of these little pockets where you can have very interesting micro environments forming based on just like what chemicals end up there. And you can have micro pH and micro environments in there. But you can have the same thing in amyloid fibrillar networks. These amyloids form these vast structures of fibril networks, and in them there are hydrophobic pockets to where you can have like unique chemistry, and they can sort of these amyloids are these primitive proteins act as really simple enzymes to catalyze reactions that wouldn't occur in the normal aqueous environment.
would they have wet dry cycles in the aggregates?
Not to my knowledge. No, the wet dry cycle would have to be something that occurs near the surface.
Yeah, that would probably pose a big problem. Because
Well, I don't see why, because like wet dry cycles are just like an alternative route at getting at some of the
for
same
RNA
chemistry. Like there's
synthesis,
lots of different approaches.
right? So like yeah. So like for RNA synthesis, they've shown like the need for these wet dry cycles, and that's kind of why Sutherland proposed some of these ponds in his experiment. He wasn't proposing hydrothermal vents, but so hypothetically, for the first proteins to come about, and then the first the first RNAs to come about, like to even get the first amyloid, those would have to happen. And you're saying like these sub pockets of a rock in next to a hydrothermal vent. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, well then maybe you can explain. Sorry.
Okay, so like again, the amyloids, they can form an aqueous solution like just with volcanic gases acting as catalysts. In terms of the formation of RNA, there are different biochemical routes to form RNA, like the wet dry cycles on clay or whatever. That's one route that you can go by. You can also go through like enzymatically catalyzed reaction where like these early proteins can catalyze the formation of RNA from like naturally occurring nucleobases. So
So,
there's
but what about
multiple
that's what I
different ways.
mentioned? because like the wet dry cycles would be needed in some of these cases. Sometimes you need the aqueous environment for things to come and react, but then if they were continued to be exposed to that aqueous environment, they would then be hydrolyzed. So would the like amyloids like prevent that from happening? Like, or would
Yes.
they have some sort of wet dry synthesis cycles and pH
So
microenvironments in the amyloid
you,
aggregates?
what I'm trying to say is you don't need wet dry cycles. Wet dry cycles are an alternative option, but they're not absolutely necessary. They're not a like they're one hypothesis for abiogenesis. They're not a necessary aspect of all hypotheses. So for like specifically amyloids can stabilize the formation of like RNA or nucleobases whenever they bind to them, or with lipids they can preferentially stabilize these things and protect them from degradation via their interactions. But also, you did say that you were going to ask me like one question like 6 questions ago. I don't know if we're like, I don't know where we're
This is
at
one
with.
question still. This is a conglomeration of one
Okay.
question of how life forms. Because yeah, I mean, I could honestly ask you questions all day, but I understand it's like I kind of feel bad because like you're kind of at a disadvantage because we haven't shown some of these processes to occur, and a lot of it's like hypothetical and appealing to possibility at this point. So yeah, it is kind of fun to hear like what people think could happen because in all these different reactions, you need all these different environments and pHs and temperatures and amount of water presence. So and then UV light, and then but you couldn't have UV light, like Sutherland's papers,
That's
like you
what.
need UV light for the RNA, but then you'd have to stop it at some point because they break it apart. So it's
Yeah,
so funny to
that's
maybe
what
if
I'm
you have
trying
a concise theory, you should publish it because all these different sub environments that need to be there are just kind of hilarious.
Well, that's what I'm trying to been explain to you is that that's
Mm.
not the case. There's not all these different sub environments that all need to be there. It sounds like you're just like mixing together a lot of different hypotheses for abiogenesis and saying that like something from this hypothesis needs to be there and something from this other hypothesis also needs to be there, and it's like no, those are different routes, different hypotheses. You can't like say, oh well, they're all true and they're all contradictory, so therefore it's impossible because they all need different environments. Like that is not a correct reading of the state of the literature.
So this is why I'm saying it's so important to start from scratch because we could see which ones contradict with one another. Like in the formation of amino acids and then in the formation of the RNA, they have different experiments, in different conditions that they've shown need to be there. And then for protein synthesis and RNA synthesis. So this is like one of the reasons it's difficult for them to do it in one pot. And just looking at all the leading papers on abiogenesis, they'll invoke different reactions and they admit that, but it's funny because they add on to other experiments that have been done. They say, okay, well, we know amino acids can form because of this experiment, this experiment. Now we're going to do this experiment with different conditions to show some other products. So there's a reason why it's most likely not sequential because they have different environments that they need. They hyper tweak these experiments to work for their particular scenario that they're trying to demonstrate. But then again, that's what I'm saying. It's not really relevant because you need to come up with some storyline of how this happens
Yeah,
in somewhat similar conditions.
I'm trying to say that you're mistaken in thinking that all of these different environments are all required because these different papers illustrating very different aspects of abiogenesis are using them. That is not a valid conclusion to
Can
draw
you tell me
from
what I'm
the.
mistaken in particular?
What was that?
What can you give me an example of something that I've been mistaken
Yes.
on?
Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, when you're saying that, oh, well, over here, wet dry cycles are required for RNA synthesis, and therefore that means that wet dry cycles must be required for RNA synthesis in amyloid research or something. And, like, or it must be that there are wet dry cycles creating the RNA for, like, hydrothermal vent ideas. That is what you're wrong about. That is fallacious reasoning because those are different pathways entirely. The pathways of RNA production for hydrothermal vent models are going to be different than wet dry cycles. Like these are different ideas. Like you're basically abiogenesis is currently not one theory. There are currently multiple different competing hypotheses. You cannot say that all of these hypotheses are all true and all occurring
Mm.
at the same time. That's the fallacious reasoning. Because for you to say that it requires all these different sub environments, requires you to say that all these hypotheses are all occurring simultaneously, which is just not a correct reading of the science.
Yeah, so like for example, like I've seen the papers where like short RNA sequences can bind to the peptide amyloids, but have they formed these ribonucleic bonds in the presence of amyloids? Like, have they simultaneously formed those bonds, right? And but I know that they can stabilize one another. I know that they can have like some sort of stereochemistry and like stabilize once they're already formed, but it's the synthesis of the amino acids and the peptide bonds and the you know um ribonucleic acid bonding, right? The RNA bonds of the nucleic acid. So things like that that would definitely need some more like experimentation and demonstration. That's why it's kind of hard to get a concise theory because they're adding on to previous experiments and they're using different conditions and different chemicals. So that's why I think a lot of these aren't really prebiotically relevant if you go read like the materials and methods of each of them.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are not trying to be prebiotically relevant because that's not the point of the experiment. Like, you have to go in with the experiment saying, why are they doing this? What is their goal? What are they trying to elucidate? And it's like not every single experiment is going to be trying to elucidate something that requires prebiotic starting material. Like, they're going to be interested in some other aspect that they're investigating. Like, it depends on the study itself. And like, yeah, there are other studies showing that like you can have RNA formation catalyzed in some sort of peptide RNA world in an aqueous environment that's not using wet and dry cycles. Like, there's all kinds of different abiogenesis experiments out there trying to figure out different ways to form RNA. It's not saying that like there's just one way that we know RNA had to have formed and it has to be wet and dry cycles. Like, that is not the state of the literature.
Right. Well, if we could show the formation of RNA, or if we could, show these nucleic acids being synthesized with their phosphate backbones, in the presence of other, amino acids already there and their formation, like, that would be really cool. But so if they're not being prebiotically relevant, however, I don't think that they should be used like as evidence of undirected abiogenesis rather than evidence, rather than like a suggestion of, hey, once it's already there, this could happen, which is kind of what they're doing. But I don't think you should use that as evidence for undirected synthesis of life on early Earth conditions.
Yeah, well, I don't really think that people are necessarily pointing to these studies as saying, "Oh, look, this is like evidence that abiogenesis happened this way." Like, that's not the point of the
I think
research.
they are
I
sometimes.
don't think so, Taylor. I think you're misreading it because the point of the research is to investigate what is chemically possible. You're trying to create primitive chemical systems and then play with them to figure out what they can do, what they're capable of.
I don't know what they
You're
can
you're
do.
trying to learn more about the world. That's why you do science. You might have an ultimate goal of, hey, maybe if we could show if that this is how life could have arisen, but the goal of these experiments is not like what you're portraying them to be. Like, it's like any other field of science. Like, you said that you like worked in a biology lab or something, so you've done science, right? Like, you know that like when you're set out to do an experiment that you have a grant for, like, you are
Yeah.
going to be interested in one particular aspect. You have one very narrow field of like that you're like trying to solve, right?
But,
Like,
but people do use these as evidence and say, hey, this could indicate this happened. But, I just feel like if it's not prebiotically relevant, it shouldn't even be in the field of evidence for abiogenesis. That's just my
okay,
opinion. And I think,
okay,
yeah, I
that's
know you
fine.
disagree. It's okay. We can disagree on that, right? Like, I
Yeah,
disagree.
it's fine that you like feel that way, but like, is that an actually like reasonable expectation to have in the scientific field if you want to actually make progress? I don't think that it's very logistically feasible. I don't think any other field of science would do anything like that. Like, they're just not how any field of science works. Like, if we want to figure out, hey, can amyloids self-catalyze? Then we specifically construct an experiment to test whether or not, in principle, amyloids can do autocatalysis. It's like oh well, that experiment doesn't count because you didn't start from prebiotically relevant starting materials. Like, well, that's not what we were trying to figure out. That wasn't the point of the experiment. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
feel like you're being, I feel like you're
As
special
long as you
pleading
don't present that as
towards,
evidence, we're good.
I think you're special pleading for origin of life research. Like you expect a different scientific method out of origin of life research than any other field of science. Like if we're just looking at the way that research is done in science generally, there's nothing different happening in origin of life versus any other field.
How am I special pleading to ask for them to replicate prebiotic Earth conditions in a claim that says life can form on prebiotic Earth?
Because like whenever we're investigating like a specific research question in science, right? Like if we want to like in like if we want to investigate like what is space fundamentally, right? Like a quantum space, right? Then like if we're going to pursue that kind of research question, then like we don't just start with, okay, well, let's try to replicate the conditions that created space. You don't just start out with that. And if you're trying to investigate like what space is made of fundamentally, then like you wouldn't like you can investigate certain properties of it. You can say, oh well, what's the smallest amount of space that's meaningful? And then if you say, oh well, that question doesn't matter at all because you're not replicating the kinds of conditions that actually create space or where space originates from. Like, you know, even though you're trying to figure out where space originates from, that's what the answer to the question that you're investigating. The way that you're investigating that question is to investigate, well, what are the properties of space? Maybe there are some properties that can elucidate something more deeper about what it is fundamentally and where it comes from. It's like you start by investigating as many different characteristics and properties of it as you can. You don't just have to say, well, the only research that we should ever do to answer this question is just try to focus on replicating the conditions at the origin of space.
But if they claim that space can originate from some chemical reaction and we have chemical reactions that we can replicate in the lab, that's not too unreasonable to ask for. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but okay, so basically my point is that this research of
I
abiogenesis is not
understand your point.
necessarily.
I get it. I get it.
But
I
I,
really
but I
do.
haven't made it yet. I haven't. I really. I genuinely haven't made it yet. I was.
All right, I
The
just want to
point.
step in. We're about almost 2 hours in. Do you guys want to switch to Q&A at this point?
Yeah, we can. I'm gonna go turn my
There's
fan
a
on or open the window because it's hot up in here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who want to ask you guys
Oh,
questions.
good. I'm glad we have a
And,
bunch of questions. Perfect. Let me go open this window for a second and then I'll come right back. Is that okay?
yeah, if you guys
Okay.
have to take a bathroom break, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I'll get some
If
water.
anyone wants to go for Q&A, just raise your hand and I can bring you up. I believe we had a list. I think Jeremy had a list. I know Biastocles wanted to come up. He was first. I feel like Dan wanted to come up. Invite sent to Dan.
Taking this hydrothermic vent to the dome.
So Dan's second, and if anyone else wanted to ask questions for the Q&A, just request a hand and you can come up.
Talking about
Is he in there?
hydrothermic vents.
Should I wait for Taylor to come back too before I ask my question?
Yeah, probably. I should.
Yeah. What's up, Grayson?
What up? How do you even say your name?
Try. Just try it and want to see what you can do.
Blah, blah, blah.
Good enough.
It is Biastocles.
Yeah. All right. So I have a follow-up question afterwards, depending on your answer. But Grayson, are we able to simulate a prebiotic environment in the lab?
Like we can go based on what information we have currently. It's not going to be perfect, but you know, we have some certain clues about whether the environment was reducing or oxidizing or whatever based on we can discern from geology.
So we can. So we can simulate that environment, right?
Like I said, you can use the information we have currently to get close.
Okay, so if we can simulate a prebiotic environment in a lab, then wouldn't
Mhm.
it be reasonable to start from that prebiotic environment in order
Depending
to?
on what your research interest is.
Mic check.
Mic check. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Too much. Just eating. What are you doing?
Not too much. I was listening to that stupid thing for a minute, and then I was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, I wanted to listen to it. I liked her presentation she did. She did a presentation like I don't remember how long ago, how many
Yeah,
days,
I know.
but
Yeah, that girl's good. She's not bad. I heard her before with this other guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had an appointment today though. So
Full
this is
disclosure,
like
I'm on
so
this.
far
I'm
away.
I'm I'm live streaming, so if yeah, just
Oh,
careful. Yeah,
okay,
so
right.
careful.
Yeah, so I got home late
Yeah.
and I forgot that it was because when they asked for it to be 8 o'clock, I always forget that there's like obviously like everyone's in a different time zone. So I
Yeah.
missed like almost all of and then I kind of hopped on to try to listen to it, but I was just busy doing other stuff. So I just caught just a bit there actually.
It must be
And
cold. It must be cold where you are right now, eh?
yeah, it's been so cold.
Fucked up cold. Like, yeah, we got the crazy
Oh
cold
yeah.
today. Oh my
Yeah, like
God.
it's just like you're like, I'm just done. Like it's supposed to get nice this weekend, so we'll see.
It's super snowy and shit. Like oh, and don't get me started on the snow removal. These people, like 3 days of snow, nobody's doing shit about it. It's like, wow, you guys. Like,
Wow. Do they
yeah,
not
it's
have like the equipment for it or
no. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the fucking liberal fucking Toronto mayor that's fucking everything up. You know, they like to spend taxes on other shit.
yeah.
It's horrible, horrible. But
Yeah, they it places certain places and I think they were doing I was reading this article and it was like they were changing the way that the snowplows would go. So instead of like every 2 inches of snowfall, they were gonna wait for every 3 inches of snowfall. And I was like, man, I remember one winter when they just were horrific at doing the roads, especially in the cities. And it was just like ruts. Like the back roads were horrific. I'm like, man, to save like 10 cents, like take a fucking pay cut and like plow the roads. Like we live in Canada. Like,
well, fuck the
are you
pay cut.
serious?
Stop wasting tax money on stupid shit. I know, literally,
Oh yeah.
that's what's killing me, man. Oh, and then they're discovering all these billions of dollars are going into foreign countries from Canada for some shit that doesn't fucking have nothing to do with us, right? Now my question is, when are we getting our money back, right? When are the Canadian people getting their fucking money back? That's the crazy part, you know? I didn't want any of that shit, right? Nobody in Canada wants this shit. Oh, but you elected the officials, right? So the officials get to make the fucking decisions. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? That's just some stupid shit. But anyways, apart from that, everything's okay. I got myself a new laptop. I got myself a new cell phone. Fucking have no money. Are you there? Hello? There, are you there? Oh, you're
I was
muted.
unarranging my mic. Sorry. I just went to grab something from the kitchen. I thought
Oh.
yeah,
Did
no,
you
I
did you
know. The government's absolutely insane. And like, but that's part of the trap, right? You agree to elect this person, democracy, we decide where all the fiat fake money goes. But yeah, okay, so would you say you got a new phone? You said a laptop too?
Yeah, it was a crazy
Nice.
week. Yeah, it's like I had a buddy, a good buddy of mine. He just messages me out of the blue. He's like, "Yo, I got this laptop for sale." He gives me a price. I'm like, "Good price." Problem is like I'm gonna drop him down for cheaper, obviously. So I like, yo, try and sell it for 2 weeks. If you don't sell it, get back to me. And then I have a price for him, and he actually agreed to my price. So I actually got a really, really good deal for this crazy, crazy laptop. He paid like 3 grand for it.
Wow.
I got it for like 1,200. So I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I'm so happy with it.
Nice. So
Yeah, and the
what
phone
kind?
too.
It's a gaming one? It's not like an Apple or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's a crazy gaming laptop. It's a Legion, yeah. It's like I don't know if you know graphic cards, but it's like a 3070 Ti in there. It's a monster. It's like better than my computer. Let's just say I have a crazy computer,
Wow.
right? And it's like I bought this laptop and it's better than my computer. I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy.
Oh
And
wow,
then
that's awesome.
and then guess what? My cell phone is even worse. It's crazier. My cell phone. Guess what I got? Because my other plan finished. Well, I mean, I bought it out the phone, right? So they started sending me all kinds of deals and shit. Deals I couldn't refuse. I'm like, there's no fucking way. So I got a brand new Galaxy S5 Ultra. You know, the brand new phone that just came out?
The 25 maybe? Is
Yeah, the
that what you said?
25, yeah, the S25 Ultra.
Mhm.
You- yeah, the crazy one. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I don't know
Nothing.
what makes it so crazy. It's like
Oh,
all AI and crap, isn't it?
well, well, yeah, but like there's more to it than that. Like, just the speed of it, like
Oh,
the
okay, I'll
int
check the specs. Let me check the specs. I'll compare it to my phone.
yeah. Well, which phone do you have?
The S23 Ultra.
Oh no, you got a good one too, but yeah, the 25 it's a little bit higher
As I
than that.
remember, I had got that one like, and then they put the 24 or whatever, like,
Oh yeah.
and
But
then
are you with Bell though?
no,
Oh,
fuck them.
why not?
They're assholes. So
Whatever. They run the lines anyways. Doesn't matter what company you win, it still goes to Bell.
well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. If you just let me, I'll tell you my story. So like, obviously, the local, like, we had one company that was the province, right? And they got bought out by Bell. And I had from like, I was a teenager, every phone plan I was with them, like super loyal customer. Like they gave me so many deals every time.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. And then Bell came in and I went to renew my contract and they're
They're
like,
like, nope.
yeah, that's it. They're like, basically, we don't give a shit that you've been loyal to somebody else. They're like, we don't fucking care. And I was like, guess what? I don't fucking care either. I'll go to Rogers. And I don't, like, Rogers has been okay. But that's exactly what it was. I was like, I have
But your
no
internet's Bell, no, right? Your Bell is
yeah,
internet, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
regardless, you're feeding a demon regardless. I promise you.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it's still with the cell phone kind of thing. But no, the internet is just because I can't get anything else out here right now. But that's the only reason. But no, my cell phone is just like. But it's not even Bell. It's actually like who they bought. So the guys are still actually like, I know they're employees, but all the infrastructure and everything and like.
It was
all
always
their
Bell's.
fucking
No,
stuff-
well, I mean, the lines, even if that company was
No.
still, the lines are still Bell's, I think.
No, they were MTS. They were all MTS. That's all we had in this province till Bell. Like that was the main provider. Everybody pretty much had MTS. Everything. And now they're Bell MTS. So
MTS would be Manitoba
technically-
Telecommunications, right? That was a provincial.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, no, but yeah, okay. So back then it was a provincial thing. Okay.
So,
And then they went
but
private.
even like, I don't know, somebody tried to explain it to me because I was like, because Bell isn't actually Bell MTS. Like they're like literally like a little subsidiary of it. I know they're still Bell, but they're like,
Like there's like
whatever.
so many Bell something like Bell Mobility, Belting. They're all different companies. But it just the brain is Bell, you know. The main thing is Bell.
Yeah, and they're just like little sub companies they bought and then kind of like changed the name.
Yes, they're
But yeah.
subcontracted, so they're all subcontracted, right? Bell still gets all the money. It doesn't matter.
Well, Bell wouldn't have subcontracted MTS because they wouldn't have bought them. They never owned them. So MTS was never owned by Bell until they bought them. Because then it went to... What did they change it? Because it was always the MTS Center. It was like the Winnipeg Jets, like the hockey arena. And then when MTS got bought out, I can't remember what they named it. Or who bought the rights to that. I don't even know what it's called now. I don't know if they've changed the name again. I feel like it's something. I feel like somebody else bought it. MTS Center.
Probably Bell.
No, it was Canada Life Center, but what was it called before that? Because it didn't go from MTS to Canada Life. Website. They did call it the Bell MTS Center.
I told you, Bell buys everything. Bell's just a demon.
No. Yeah, I know. So it was MTS Center, and then, sorry, Bell MTS Place, and now it's Canada Life Center.
It's still owned by Bell.
Well, the naming rights are for sure. Well, no, I don't know actually who owns this. The naming rights, right? Because they just buy the rights to the name or whatever, and then obviously it changes. Because like when they built the Bomber Stadium, it was called Investors Group, and now it's like, or it was called the IG Field or something, and now it's called like Princess Autumn or something. Princess Autumn bought the naming rights to it. Oh, okay, so it was originally known as the True North Center during its planning and construction stages. It was named MTS Center as part of the naming rights agreements with Manitoba Telecom Service. It was renamed Bell MTS following Bell's acquisition of MTS. Because True North is like what the True North Corporation or whatever is actually, I think, who owns the building and owns all of that is this True North. Yeah, True North Sports and Entertainment. So they just buy the rights. Bell doesn't own the building. Bell doesn't own it. It's a 10-year agreement. So after 10 years, it'll probably change again. Or if they buy it again, I don't know how that works. Weird, hey? It's so weird. Like, they're fucking buying naming rights to a building. Like, it's just like so what world.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even know why would, but I just know like these guys, there's some like, cause I worked for Bell, right, and I understand how their fucking thing works.
Oh,
With the
okay.
employees and shit, yeah. So subcontracted, the company was subcontracted, and it was a repair company directly with Bell and shit. But they used to have like just Bell, right? But then for them to make it cheaper, they found another company. Right, it was named completely something else, right? And a whole bunch of employees used to work for them, and they transferred over and they called it BTS, Bell Technical Solutions, right? So the reason they did that is now they can subcontract, right? And all these contracts that they're getting, they hire all these cheap workers, cheaper labor in the end. That's what it was. So they didn't have to pay like these guys like unionized fucking guys like $30-$40 an hour back then. Right? So they hire people and they'd be paying them like fucking $16-$18 an hour, you know? So like fucking scammers, bro. For the same job too, exactly the same fucking work. Even harder work at times, which was fucked up. So yeah, Bell's a fucking crazy. That's why after I got like lost my job with them and shit, I was like, I didn't really look for major corporations anymore. I was like, you know what? I'd rather work for even if it's a little bit like you don't get like security as much, but if you work for private people, like it's so much better because you're talking to the owner directly, right? If you're unhappy, you get to deal with it that way, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I know, it's just wild. Like, it's just crazy. Like, these people, like, they don't even know anything now. They're just like reading like a script. But the guys that actually come out are decent. Like, see, they're not, I don't know how that business model works. So unless Bell MTS is like some weird little side company that they're subcontracting, I think they would still be owned by them, but like they have their own vehicles. Like that say like the company name. It's not like it's a different corporate, like it's not like a contracted corporation. Like the I don't think the cable guy had like a uniform on or anything, but that's the first time I've ever had to deal with like one of those guys. But usually like the guys that just come out first, like they all have like a Bell MTS like shirt on and stuff and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so MTS was that old company. So Ontario had the same thing. That's what I'm saying. So like BTS, now it's MTS. So there's so many different ones. Like Bell has like hundreds of companies. I swear to God.
Yeah, they're really taking over. It's really just between Rogers and Bell.
Rogers is not even like it's so small compared to Bell. It's probably Bell owns Rogers. You know, it's just Rogers is
No,
just a name.
Shaw amalgamated with Rogers.
Yeah, it is LOL for sure.
So they have nothing to do with Bell. Like, according to like what I can
It
read
just
on
got dunked
Wikipedia,
on.
right? Whether or not it goes deeper than that, but that's what I like. It's Shaw and Rogers. I think Rogers absorbed Shaw. Actually, I thought it would have been the other way around, but and then
Again.
yeah, Rogers is just like this huge thing. I wonder which one is bigger now then. Oh, in 2022, Bell Canada reported an annual revenue of 24.67 billion Canadian dollars.
Right? Billions. These people, it's, and the thing is for the population size too, like the amount of money they're pulling in, it's insane, right?
It's sick, man. Like the amount you pay for, like, how much is your plan? Like, what was your deal?
Right now, exactly. Like I'm paying $250 a month for everything.
Whoa! Is that for your internet though too?
Yeah, everything.
Oh, okay. So how much is just your phone?
Probably that's the bigger part. Because like the phone itself is like for 2 years it's gonna be like $90 a month, right? Just for the phone. And then the plan itself is like whatever, but the plan is sick. Like my download speed is like half a gig. I tested it, I'm like, holy shit. So I get a gig just in my house, and then my phone is half a gig. I can live stream off my phone easily. Like it's gonna be like crazy. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, did you just check the specs? Did you check the specs on this? Because I don't
Oh,
really know the
no,
specs.
I got distracted by this Bell stuff. Because listen to this. For full year 2024, adjusted net earnings were down 5.2% to 2,773 million. So that's just what they revenued. So that's not all. So they only made 2,773 million. So that's all they made in 2024. Not billions, technically. But I don't know what that all includes. But let's
Well,
just.
this is a gross or net, right? So I'm pretty sure they net a lot less, but their gross is huge because they have to pay everybody, right?
This is their net. Yeah, their net earnings. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's way less. It's actually only like only, right? I'm making fun of it because it's like 2,773 million, not 24 billion.
Yeah, but even
Yeah.
if you say, okay, so that net is going to all the shareholders. So like
And
that's the crazy part.
sick. That's crazy.
And
I know.
when I used to work, like, see, the thing is, I was young and stupid. Like, I should have stayed, or should have figured out a way to stay in that fucking company, right? Because they give you stock options, like private stock options for Bell, right? So you can literally like just become if you were buying Bell back then, you'd be pretty fucking set now. You know what I mean? So, but you know, missed opportunities like always.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You're making money on crypto.
That's true.
So Rogers.
Thanks for reminding me. Oh.
Yeah, no problem, bud. Rogers Communications had annual revenue of 20.6 billion Canadian. Wow, so yeah, Bell really is just knocking them out of the park here.
Yeah.
I guess I just never realized Bell was such a big company because like we only ever had like MTS and Rogers and TELUS, right?
Yeah, Bell
And
owns
I
everything.
guess
No, you don't
Like
understand.
Bell is kind of
You don't
like we
understand.
don't,
The
you
only
know.
reason why Rogers is still in this fucking game is because the cable, the coaxial cable, they ran it themselves, right? So Bell has no like what do you call it? No fuck. Whatever. They can't. They don't use those cables anyway. So it's their own. It's Rogers Cables pulls their own fucking cables, right? And then Bell pulls their own cables. So that's the big difference. Bell will never buy Rogers to use the coax because it's useless to them. All right. Bell is going straight fiber or a twisted pair. The twisted pair is getting obsolete anyways. So there's gonna be less copper around. It's all gonna be fiber to the home. Like they're
No,
slow. Yeah, they're
this
slow. Go ahead.
yeah, I know. I know they're doing. I know they're going fiber and copper is like, but they're never gonna run fiber out here. It'll cost them too. There'll be copper lines till
No,
I'm
no, no.
dead.
It's cheaper to do fiber, I promise you. They'll run fiber all the way to your place soon. It's
No,
just
he said he said they won't. He said there's no way that they will. And Roger or Bell is not doing any fiber at all. I think what's happening is that there's little companies here. They must be getting grants or government grants or something because they are running fiber lines like everywhere, but they won't come down this far down the road because there's like how many houses. It's kind of doesn't make sense for them. And even this guy, because I asked one of the guys, I was like, "Are they gonna ever put fiber in?" He says, "No, Bell's not doing it because there's regulations in place that whoever puts the fiber lines in, you can get any provider. You have no like, you can just go with whoever." So he's like, "They're never gonna spend all that money to run a fiber line for you to just like go to another provider." I was like, "Oh, perfect." So he's like, "Yeah, copper lines, let's go." I was like, "Well." I guess we'll be seeing each
that
other for a while, on and
sucks.
off for a bit. I
That
know. So that's
sucks.
what I mean. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like maybe at some point, like once it kind of winds down and like maybe the government starts like maybe funding
No,
stuff like
no, but
that.
that's the thing. That's what I don't understand is because once you run a fiber line, there's little to no maintenance after that, unless somebody literally comes in there and like fucking hits it or physically damages the shit, right? The box, the line, whatever, right? There's no
That could
once
happen because like farmers fields, he says people take lines out with tractors here all the time. I was
I
like,
understand.
oh.
Yeah, that's fine, but you can splice fiber too, so it's not a big deal if that happens. What I'm trying to say is, if there is no like, because with copper it corrodes, right? Over time you still have to redo the whatever, right? But the fiber won't corrode, right?
Yeah, that's what he was saying, and that's what he was saying my problem was, yeah.
And that's the thing. So eventually, what I think is going to happen, because once they run all the fiber lines in, and there's not going to be work to run more fiber, they're going to have to try and expand and try and run fiber to everybody at that point. That's
Yeah,
the only.
that's
So they
yeah,
have no.
that's
They
what I
have no
said, yeah.
choice because they're going to run out of places to put fiber into it. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
need to people. They need to put people to work. You know, to make money regardless. So yeah, it's a cycle. It's not. It's not going to stop until they fully run fiber all over the world. I swear.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, but I think it's gonna be like a ways away because they are like, and I mean, like, they can only dig for so many months out of the year. Like, they're not digging now. Like, when we have like a really mild winter, like, they were digging till like fucking January almost last year. But
But
this
imagine
year,
this. But listen to this. See, my apartment building never had fiber when I got in, right? So eventually, down like a few years in, I was living. They're like, "Oh, the fiber line's getting installed." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I never even went on it because I was getting free internet, right? So when that free internet thing ran out, I was like, "Okay, so let's decide to buy the fiber." And but that's the crazy part. It's so easy. They just it's like in no time. Like there's like because the copper line's already there, right? So essentially they can just rerun like re-pull the fiber over the copper. But that's called brownfielding at that point, right? So that's what they do
well, yeah,
too. They lay
it
fiber
was.
so it's easy. Fuck.
Well, and he said that it was too cold to even like run new copper lines, like run new lines. He's like, I just had to switch it because he's like, I can't get somebody. Like it's like -40. I was like, I know. I don't blame you. So maybe at that point, like if they had to run new lines, like maybe they would just run fiber. Like I have no I don't
No,
know
they
if we'll
can't.
see what
Not from that node. I don't think so, because they need to put in a whole
Oh,
fucking
oh,
node in
that's
there. Yeah,
true.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because it's a converter in there, right? So
Okay, so yeah, okay, so Rogers Communications, okay, listen to this. So they all have like a shit ton of debt,
yeah,
like crazy amounts of debt. Oh, I
yeah.
just lost.
Bell's gonna fucking buy them. I swear to God, if it hasn't already.
No, Bell has $40.1 billion in debt right
No way.
now.
No way.
Uh,
So what they're gonna fucking cut people or some shit? What's gonna happen with that?
I don't know.
That's crazy. $40 billion in debt. Man.
Oh, Rogers is 48.
Well, Rogers is even worse.
I know. How much is Rogers in debt? Total debt for the balance sheet as of September 2024 is 48.19 billion.
And you know where the bailout's gonna come from? Us.
The government. Well, wait,
Yeah.
it's not us. How the fuck I mean, like, it's not even real money. It's just wild.
Well, it's not
Like,
real money, but I still work for that fucking not real money, right? So
no, I know. No, I know, I get it, but like, how can they be that much in fucking debt when they make like that's wild. Like
they gotta
how
they gotta
how
pay
do
people, right? The
companies
employees they
like
have, it's every month they have to pay people, right? So that
well, no,
keeps
I know that. So
skyrocketing.
I guess if they're only making 2,773 million. But I mean like
But
how
that's
where
net, but
how
that's
they
not
born
gross. What's
with
gross? What's the gross? How much does Bell gross? If it nets that much, what's
oh,
the gross? Gross.
total gross of Bell Telecom.
The gross income?
Doesn't want to tell me. She just keeps telling me the annual revenue.
Oh yeah, what's the annual revenue?
I told you
But
that.
that's it. But that's not the net, then that's the actual gross, right?
Well, I told you that the annual revenue was what, like, what, okay, this one's saying in 2022 was 25 billion, almost 24.6. And I told you that they net like 2,773 million.
Right, right. So the gross is the billions. That's the
Yes.
annual. Okay, so yeah, okay. So they grossing the billions, but they're only netting the millions, right?
Yes,
So see,
exactly.
there's where the problem is. So there's a lot of expenditure, and then they still have to pay the fucking the stockholders, right?
That's what I mean. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, you have, this is what I'm saying, is like you have all of these, like, the biggest, like, phone companies and internet companies in Canada
Mm-hmm.
that is like so expensive, like probably one of the most expensive places for this type of, well, for cell phones for sure.
Yeah.
And these
In the
companies,
world, we are.
$50
It's crazy.
billion in debt. Like, where the fuck is all this money coming from? Like, it's just wild. Like, but I guess this has probably been going on for like how many years of racking up this debt? Like, when did it become a company? And
But the thing
at
is
what
okay. So
point did they
you
really
imagine
start going?
your company's in debt this whole fucking time, right? And it just keeps being like the debt just keeps rising and rising. So you have to bankrupt or you have to fucking bail out, right? It's too big to fail. That's the problem. The infrastructure is there. You can't stop providing the service to people, right? People need this fucking
I
service.
know. I'm not saying to shut it all down. It's
Well,
just like
yeah,
wow, like that's it's just interesting to think about. I'm not asking for an answer or an explanation. I fully understand what's going on. It's just like man, when you like just sit and think about it for a
shocking.
second. Yeah, it's like what the fuck. It's like
Yeah.
how like it's like all of the stuff and like yeah, of course the shareholder like it's just like the world is so interestingly set up. Okay, let's look at this phone specs now. Okay, so
Oh yeah. Let's go back to the phone specs.
S25. Yeah, I know. I hadn't forgot. I just wanted to get back to that because I had been Googling it. S25 Ultra to S23 Ultra. I probably should have typed it the other way, but where is that website? I used to here, maybe this one.
It's cool that you're into like technology like that. That you actually go look up a spec. Not most women wouldn't even fucking, they're like, I don't give a fuck. What is this? You know? Oh, I
Well,
can
I
just
had
text.
to I
Yeah,
had to
go
like
ahead.
relearn all this stuff because like when I got my phone plan was just a mess, but it's fine now. But the first phone I got, I really didn't, I guess, pay too much attention. I just kind of listened to whatever. And I got like a really crappy phone, and then the guy explained, and then I started really like learning about it and paying more attention to it again.
Yeah, you learned your
So
lesson.
well, and like I knew all this stuff, but I was like, yeah, I relearned it because I was like, I didn't think that they made that shitty of phones, to be honest. Okay, so what size is yours though? Because
The
that might
ultra
make a
size.
difference.
No, it's the same.
Okay, well, hang on a second. S23 Ultra, and then oh, this is just for the prices. Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, yeah. S25 Ultra. Okay, so your phone's obviously, well, the phone I got used to be worth that too. Okay, so that's comparable. It's 2 years later.
What's the price on it right now? I don't even know
Well,
the
it
price.
says it's $1,917
Canadian or
and that
US?
depends on Amazon.ca apparently.
Mm.
But it's worth more than that. Okay, so my phone is slightly bigger, actually. Okay. Mine's heavier.
Yeah.
Mine's 234 grams, 234. Yours is 218. Okay, so you've got the glass front, which is Corning Gorilla Armor. Okay, mine's Gorilla Glass Victus. Okay, so that's different. You have like different SIM, nano SIM. I don't know what all that is.
The SIM's built internally, so I don't really need a SIM card. It automatically registers the phone when you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and then it connects to the Bell network automatically.
You can let it scan your chip too, bud. Did you get that put right in your brain or just your hand? No, I'm just joking.
It's gonna be right in my ass. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
So when I need to scan them, I have to bend the fuck over. Hey, scan my ass, buddies. You
There you go. There you
fuckers. Oh yeah,
go.
scan my
Okay.
ass.
Okay, so
Uh,
IP68, yeah, it's the same stylus. Okay, mine says armor aluminum frame. Well, the back is fucking shattered, so that's glass. Anyways, type. Well, I don't. Mine's dynamic, something else. Yours is something different. Let's just look at the things I like. Okay, so your phone size, your display. So your phone screen is slightly bigger, but my phone is bigger. So that's weird.
no,
And
it's
you
not.
have,
They really like that's what I'm saying. This S25, like
yeah,
they made it nice. Like they put some work
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe how good this phone is.
Oh, because see, yours is rounded. Mine's like rectangular, like straight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yours
yeah, yeah.
looks like, yeah, yeah. So that's why that makes sense. Okay. So let's
What
see
about the
here.
processor?
Well, yeah, I'm getting there. Platform, that doesn't really matter. I don't think.
Oh, it's the same OS.
GPU.
Oh, the GPU's
Pretty close. Well, no, your CPU has an octa-core, which is like 2.2 times 4.47 gigahertz, and mine doesn't have that high of a number. I don't know what that means though. Okay, so card slot
what's
and
the number? What's the number beside? What's your number? What's my number?
okay, so mine is 1 times 3.36 gigahertz with the Cortex Dash X3 and 2 times 2.8 gigahertz Cortex and 2 times 2.8 gigahertz Cortex A7 10 and 3 times 2 gigahertz Cortex. And yours just has like one.
Okay. Okay.
which is like
It's a
times
different
4.7.
processor for sure. Yeah, it's a different processor.
Yeah, it's quite different. Like mine has like so
Yeah.
many. Yours is like just jammed all into like two that are like way higher than my speed. Anyways, or way higher number. Not way higher, but a bit.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's
So
there. Yeah.
okay, so main camera is
Right?
exactly the same.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
So one thing changed in the 10 megapixel camera. Mine is 70 millimeters and yours is 67. Um, you have I have okay, so I have a 200. Okay, so our 200 megapixel camera is the same. We both have a 10 megapixel. I have a 10 and then you have a 50 and then I have a 12 and you have a 50.
Is that like for the zoom?
Is
Or is
MP
different?
megapixels?
Well, no, MP is megapixels, yeah, but it's for which mode? Like, see, each megapixel is giving you, it's for whatever mode it should be doing,
Oh,
right?
okay, so we got wide, telephoto. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. So
Okay,
telephoto
so the ones
wide.
that are different are this periscope telephoto and the ultra wide. So you have 50 on both and I have a 10 and a 12.
Yeah, there you go. So that's a big difference. That's huge.
Yeah, because my camera is freaking amazing. So yours must be like
Yeah, like
I
I
can't
fucking
imagine
I was
mine
like,
being
holy
better.
shit. And when I was playing my camera around, I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is insanity.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly, I thought mine was amazing. So,
I mean,
but the
like,
front,
can it get better? That's the question. Holy shit. Oh, it can though. That's the fucked up part. It can,
yeah,
because
but honestly, there's really nothing else. The front camera is the same.
right.
The sound is the same. It looks like the Wi-Fi, all that shit's the same. Features, we both got fingerprints. That's all the same.
Yeah.
The battery, okay, the batteries, that's the same. Wired. Okay, so the only thing that's different is you get QI2 ready. Mine's just QI, but everything is the same. And that's only for wireless charging.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. That doesn't even work properly, so who cares?
Yeah. So
I
that's
don't even use that. I use something
basically,
else.
so the only thing that's different from my phone to yours is the camera. Those two cameras,
And
that's
this
it.
and this and the CPU.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
G
yeah.
and the GPU.
Well,
Like
mine's an Adreno 740. Yours is an 830. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff's like a little bit faster or whatever, but for like
no, but I mean,
otherwise,
what you got to
yeah,
understand is like, yeah, because the cell phone itself is already pushing limits of like it's like pretty much a mini computer in a fucking hand. That's why I'm like, this is
yeah,
crazy. I'm playing Genshin Impact on this thing, and it's like playing it on my computer. I'm like, this is unfucking real.
yeah,
This
that's
it's so
crazy.
smooth. It's yeah, that's what I'm saying. These phones right now, they're getting to this point
Yeah.
where it's like I'm like, wow, can it get any better?
And it's really kind of interesting too because I've noticed that like switching from my other phone, my A whatever that is,
Yeah.
even when I plug it into like my speaker and like talk on the phone, like it sounds different. In my other phone
Different card,
sounds
yeah, different
way
card,
better.
different little chips in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
the
I
way
had
it processes
I
different.
didn't know that was such a big difference, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
That's why
but
quality's quality, man. Jeez.
yeah.
Now I'm just
Not
broke. I
there's
only have $100 in my bank account. Hey.
there when's payday? You're probably fine.
Tomorrow. Yeah, no, I'm
There
good.
you
No, I gotta. No, but the problem is I gotta. That my whole pay's going on rent, so I gotta
go.
pay my
Mhm.
rent. And then I'm stuck with whatever cash I have for food. You know what's funny though? It's thank God I double paid accidentally last month my phone bill. So I don't have to pay the next phone bill because I double paid it last month. I'm like accidentally too. Because
Yeah.
I set up a prepaid through my bank account, and when it sent me
Yeah.
my bill, it didn't automatically charge me. I was like, oh, curious. So I just whatever did. I paid it, and then it automatically charged me right after I paid it. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. So I just have extra credit on it. So thank God, because I would have probably wasted that $250 on something else.
Yeah. Man, that's so crazy. Everything is just expensive, but Yeah, I'm like, that appointment just made me so tired. And like, I don't know, it's just like been hitting me. I'll get just so exhausted, which is probably good. That means my body's healing, but that also means I want to go down. So I think I'm
what
gonna
appointment?
hop to the
Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool. What appointment was
he
this?
does like I think
Oh,
he calls it torque chiropractic.
oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a different kind of like popping machine thingy, like little tool thing.
But
But
was it working? Is it helping you out?
I think so, yeah. Slowly. Like my back, like that's the other thing too. Like I just can't get comfortable on this chair too. Like I don't know.
Is
He
it lower
definitely
back or
like
lower back or upper back?
it's like my whole back, but
Ugh.
it's only been happening since I've been seeing him. So I know it's only because he's like trying to put me back into like a proper adjustment, which is what they're supposed to do. It's just like,
Is your like spine
oh,
disaligned? Like it's not straight?
no, it's fine. I don't have
So,
like scoliosis or anything
well,
like
I
that.
understand that, but so what's he aligning if it's
Oh, because of the whiplash, right?
right?
Whiplash puts your whole body out of whack and like really makes you, yeah, it changes the whole way you walk. It changes like if you get it where it's a little like it's chronic, right? So it just kind of changes. So he has
So
to realign
you
it.
have a weird walk?
Yeah, I drag my
Yeah?
leg like a fucking gimp. No, I'm just joking.
Ha,
I
ha,
shouldn't say that. That's me.
ha, ha,
I'm just
ha,
being
ha,
dramatic.
ha.
No, I walk
That's funny.
like you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't notice that I walk differently than I did before. I just walk. It's not like
Do you walk one foot in front of the other? Or do you walk like one foot side by side? Or do you walk like a duck foot? A lot of people walk duck feet, and I hate the duck feet.
oh, I don't walk duck feet.
Oh, thank God.
No, I
I
know.
walk one foot after like a cat, you know? That's like
Well, yeah,
my way of
I don't
walking.
know.
That's
That's
you never paid attention to your walk?
well, yeah, my footprints, I fucking walk back in them all the time in the snow. Yeah, they're not together.
Well,
Like, I don't even know how you would walk together. Like, what? I don't understand.
one foot after another. I mean, like you put one
Oh
foot
yeah,
like in a line,
yeah,
right? But they're
yeah.
closer in a line than like separated, right? But when I mean separated, it's like one foot is like, you know what I mean? Some people have like this bear type walk, you know? So they're like wobbling one foot to the next foot, you know? Some people do the duck foot, you know?
Oh,
Some people do the fucking straight foot like I do. Like I go like a cat, you know, one foot after another, like a predator, you know?
I don't. Yeah,
And
I
and
guess.
and and
I don't
and,
know.
and,
I guess I could take pictures of my
even
footprints.
and that's the crazy part. I'm a 6 foot guy, right? 6'5", big guy, right? But I
Yeah,
sneak up on people no problem. They don't even hear me. And I scare people sometimes. It's funny.
yeah.
Oh, because I'm already big, right? But I'm like, I don't know, or I peer right behind them and they don't fucking hear me. It's funny.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can walk like a
ninja,
fucking ninja,
ninja Vlad. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think I lost it. But anyways, yeah. Okay, we'll catch you later.
All right, have a good one.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah, what are we doing? Playing new music? I think we're gonna do music right now. Fuck.
that helps a little bit. So they have the ones where you pour water into it and you what are they called? Where they they're standalone ones that you got and you have a little faucet on it versus kind of like the old